What's up, guys? It's Black Boss, and I want to come to you with a Bleach chapter commentary. And chapter 598, the title of this chapter is called "We Only Have to Beat You." Now, let's start with the beginning. We have the little, reunion with Ichigo and Ganryu. He comes in with his little board, bringing good old school memories because I had seen. I had watched an episode where he had met him in Soul Society, and he was on the board writing it. It was at nighttime. They were fighting and stuff. But he joins the fray. He wants to go to the Soul Palace with Ichigo and the rest of the gang. But Ichigo's like they're basically having an exchange, going back and forth. Like it's gonna be one hell of a fight. What are you doing here? Like he's like, I already know that. Who else will have the map? He brings up some kind of map that it shows to get to the Soul King Palace. It's just freaking going up. Like you're just going through several reigns. Who needs a map for it? And Kisuke, he was like, Ichigo acting like, you sure? Like he's like, you think I would come unprepared? I'm not gonna go too much into what they were saying. Basically, he was just like. Ichigo is just questioning, like, why are you here? Like, I have to be here because, I'm with you guys. Like, this ain't, I think the guy, he was saying a couple of, like, well, this ain't a school training. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he said, but they had their exchanges basically like, why are you here? There's no place for you to come. It's not for you. You're not capable of handling yourself here. I've gotten stronger, and he said like I've gotten stronger too. Like I know what I'm getting myself into. I'm going. So they all end up going up to the Soul Palace. Ganju, Ichigo, Inua, or the girl's name, or Orihime. I'll just say Orihime. Chad, Yoruichi, and Kisuke. Yeah. Kisuke, Ichigo, Orihime, Chad, Ganju, and Yoruichi. Yeah, 6 people. They all go in the shuttle. And going up there, it was a lot of turbulence because it was just shaking different ways. They wasn't expecting that. But on their ride up there, they were talking about doing the same thing going up to, I think, Soul Society. And Orihime, she remembers Uryu was with them at the time. They all remember that. And, Ichigo pulls a Naruto. That I'm going to call it that. He pulls a Naruto like, yeah, I'm going to bring him back no matter what. Even have to beat the crap out of him. I have to beat the crap out first to bring him out. We're going to bring him back whether he likes it or not. And it's just that same, my friend, I'm bringing you back. Whether these characters realize that your friend has chosen a different path. Move on. But I guess in this story, it's, in shonens, it's always like, I gotta bring my friend back. My friend. Kids! Like, kids are all about friends and bringing them back. When you're young and naive, you think you could bring your friend back, but in reality, you can't. They have to themselves want to come back, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they choose a path, and that's the life they want to live. Like I have a friend that he's chosen a path. And I'm not going to say who. I have a couple that have chosen paths. And, as much as you want them to be there and support them and do things, sometimes they got to find life on their own. They got to do their own thing. And some people, they've come to me about, like, why they doing this, they doing that. And, to be respectful, regardless of what they say about me or whatever, I don't care. Well, I say I don't care, but I do care. But it's not going to affect me to the point where I'm going to stop living. You get what I'm saying? And it shows me a person's true color, or in fact, I don't know how they feel. It's hearsay. When you hear things from people, you don't really know if it's true or not. You can only base it off of the person that you grew up around like how they are as a person. You can kind of tell whether it's true or not. But sometimes when they're around certain people, they're influenced, and that's happened to me. I've been around people. I'm deviating, but I'm bringing my point. This is about friends, and and I'm going back to my point. When people tell me these things of either what they've said or what they've done, and they ask me questions, if I can be a good friend, I will respect them, or I would keep a certain level of respect for them, and I would say, listen, I don't know, but at the end of the day, they got to find themselves. And like everyone on this planet, we have to find a path for ourselves. We have to find out who we are as a person and what do we want to contribute to this world. And what is my worth? However a person grows up, they got to find that out for themselves. And people may judge you, but if you have a good person around you, a person that is like, you know what, I am going to reserve judgment. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to try not to. And people want to bring me things like rumors or whatever. I'm just going to keep, my opinion to myself, or I'm going to, keep my disposition like, okay, well, listen, I don't know. It is what it is. He or she got to do what they got to do. And that's, and the reality is that sometimes, when I say they gotta do what they gotta do, sometimes you can't bring that person back. They have to want to bring themselves back from that. And sometimes like people just go different ways. That's how life is. But Ichigo, they're teens. I don't know how old they are, 18, 20, whatever. But I'm gonna bring my friend back. Okay, that's the plot. That's the story. And because Orihime, she was wondering if Ushida would come back, and Ichigo makes that promise. Okay. Going back, excuse me. Phlegm. I'll take care of that later. But going back to the Soul Palace, we don't see Yuha Bak, but only in like a flashback. And it's really the exchange between Shutara, I forgot her last or first name, but Senjumaru. Yeah, she is the weaving goddess, and she basically is going up against Nine Zol, Sternritter V, the wind, and nothing is penetrating him, nothing is affecting him, because whether he sees you or not, if you're close by him, he can affect you with his wind. And that's what, he was basically telling her, because when he was the characters, they have to kind of like explain their abilities, or they kind of tell you how their abilities work through their dialogue. And she said, oh, so if you don't see the person, then maybe, then you can't, your powers doesn't work. So she pulls up curtains of like, it looks like the surrounding area, and that she had camouflaged it and had characters behind it, the ninjas. They come and try to stab him, but like what happened, he's like, no, if you're close by me, the winds, I can protect myself, I can still do anything. And he basically cut like 3 of those ninja dudes in half, like their bodies are just severed. There was no blood, so I'm thinking maybe they're not even like real people, they're all just cloth clones or cloth beings. Like, they're all woven beings. What I'm trying to say is that they're not human or spirit. I mean, they are spirit, but they're more so a fabrication of Senjumaru's ability, where she can weave up a being, just needle and thread. They're all just threaded up characters. So their physical content is thread, because there was no blood that was created from the slash attack. That's something that I did notice. I had to read it twice because it looked weird. I'm like, they don't even look like people. They look like bodies attached to something. It might just be threads. They might all just be forms of threads. I'm driving that point, but I want you to understand that they're probably not human kind of creatures. They're probably fabric creatures. And what else happens? She there was a, oh yeah, this is something I wanted to make a note about. Nine Zol. Uh, his double tongue is, it's hard to understand what he's saying because it's like this and that and went and hard lines. And like he's always like is a doubleness to his tongue when he speaks. So doubleness to his tongue. A double is almost like he speaks with like a lisp or like a snake. So it's very hard to understand him. You have to like reread twice. Certain things he say is just words that is made up because of the way he speaks, because the way his tongue sounds out words. It just sounds. It's you get the gist of what he's saying. You have to kind of slow down and read it, take a little bit more consideration in what you're reading. Okay, this is what he's saying, and kind of figure out like decipher these cryptic words. They're not cryptic in a sense. They're just hard to understand. At least for me when I was reading it. And we noticed that she ends up putting a seal on Nine Zol. Like, you know, there was other things you didn't notice, and she had like this little bit of thread. I love that. Like, you know, thread characters that use thread, they always have a hidden agenda. They always use a certain kind of slyness or a secretive way of just doing certain things to kind of like, okay, well, wow, this is happening. I had my thread on you, and I did this. And she ends up using it was based off of her 1,000 hands that were allow her to work fast. That, you know, basically she can't get like the Stern Riddler V can't get the clothes off because of her thread ability, and she ends up using a technique to have spikes go through him, stabbing him up and having piles amount of blood just splatter all over. So that's what happened in the chapter. We didn't really see Yuha. He was mentioned in the chapter. We saw him through a flashback, but I guess he's just there watching what's happening. You know, you have to go through Senju before you even get to the other guys. So she's like the preliminary round, and you know we don't see the other Royal Guard member. But this was a good chapter. I mean, it had its ups and downs and stuff, but it was still good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Give me your opinions on this chapter, what you thought of it, whether it was good or bad, or what Kubo should have did or shouldn't have done. You could go to my Facebook fan page in the description box below. You can like this video, or you don't, and you know, look out for more videos that I do in the future. So this is Black Boss 91 signing out.